G'day Phil, how are you mate? Missed you in the racing stream tonight though. You all good? Haven't seen you around too much lately. Oh, fucking tree, look at that. Jesus, what a fucking killed me. Just making sure you're good, bro. Getting this upgrade. Getting this upgrade. Yes, we are. How dare real life shit get in the way, no? Dare it get in the way of our amazing stream. Playing together. Atlas suspension purchase. Yay. Well, if that's the active suspension I've been working for that other track. Check after. Now I've got a task that we've got here. Ignorance, is that one there? Ah, okay, we could have taken that before. Well, let's get that one done. In the right vehicle for that. It's all good. That's good. Fucking big rock there. Fucking rocks, I tell ya. Then there's these trees. I just want to grab you, hug you, chill you. We had a reasonably good stream tonight. We were using, I was doing You Choose to Car again. Sadly mate, no one chose the Jag tonight. The biggest surprise was a race that that video replay should go up in about an hour. It was a race, believe it or not, in Daily Race B. In the Suzuki Swift. Yes, you heard it right. We had a good race. And we were in the Suzuki Swift. God, seriously? Where's that one have to go? Well, we might drag that trailer over here, then drag that truck over here, then go back, grab that trailer, then take it there. Since we're here. That's the one. There is a section just over here where you go along across. So do this, drop it over there, grab that thing, take it over there, and go and take this train. There we go, awesome. Worked out well. It's good when things come in place, isn't it? Hey Phil, I think there's someone else talking. I don't know who it is though. Is there anyone else talking in chat? You know? I think it's just us two, Phil. I want to go forwards. Why do they want this wreck back? I suppose some people like doing restaurant mods, don't they? Let's get it nice and close. John Sear. Nah, I don't think it's him. Though it would be more cool if it was him than this other. Yeah, but what I'm surprised about Phil is, you know, Andy was really helpful in my stream tonight. I thought he would have jumped on here as well. Fuck. Don't go off there. Don't! Oh, fuck. Let's see. I should have stopped then. I kept going, trying to go forwards. Whenever you fall over, it saves it straight away. But when you want, when it doesn't want it, yep, that definitely fucking happened. And as I thought, just drive. It's easier than having to go there. And what you do as well, because of that fuck up. Fuck, it normally lets you reset the bloody task. It's not letting me reset it. Which means that car could be floating down the bloody river by now. There's usually an option to reset the task. Why doesn't it give me that bloody task? I think you have to go to where the giver is, so you really get the task. So I think that's where you can go on there, and I'm sure there's options to reset. Let's fly like it. Don't crash into the tree. I haven't got full drive and do it. Again, I've got a feeling someone else is chatting. Is someone else chatting, Phil? Because you know, if Andy was here, he wouldn't start off saying, "Oh, I'm not here." He would say, "I'm here." So, g'day, Andy. How are you, bro? Can't adore you for too long. You're too good for that. Thanks again for your awesome help in tonight's stream. Really do appreciate it. I hope it lets me reset it, because it's going to be very hard to get it back up from where it is. Pick your nose. There you go. You can do something. That's something, isn't it? Just stick your finger in your nose. Have a good little feel around. Just whatever you do, don't eat it. I'm sure if you go here, see? Restart. So it's cheating if you want to. I'll just call it reset. That's the button. Let's try again, huh? Close. We're gonna hug the fucking wall this time. God, I hate the gearbox thing in this thing. Don't. What the fuck are you doing, son? Doing a sideways bump. And that's where we went in. Okay. Protein. Have they ever looked into snot to see what snot has in it? Have they ever done an exercise into snot to see what good protein snot has? What kind of bloody conversation are we having? We're talking about protein and freaking snot. Fuck's sake. I need to get a life. It's probably best you don't know. I'll tell you one thing, it's a very good feeling. Isn't it so rewarding when you haven't had a pick for a couple of days, being out. You're itching for a quick little pick, and you get a huge, big, massive fucking chunk. Nothing like a nice big chunk. When you've left that nostril alone for a while, you get that nice chunk. Nothing beats that feeling. Mind you, I do use a tissue after, thank you very much. I'm not a, now I've gotcha, now I'm going to eat you kind of person. Yuck. What I don't understand is when I hear about apparently weirdos that, well, I'm not going to call them weirdos, but people eat their earwax. Seriously? Have you seen what earwax looks like? It's disgusting. How can anyone eat that shit? I'd rather eat snot than earwax. Ugh. And if you're new here, welcome to the amazing discussions that we have while playing Snowrunner. Tonight it's about eating snot. Tomorrow night, who knows? Maybe tomorrow night we'll discuss how long do you take in the toilet. Did you know that when you're married, talking about that, when you're married with kids, you tend to spend a lot more time, men tend to spend a lot more time in the toilet. I wonder why. It's the only place of your solitude you can get away from everybody. Especially with the day and age of mobile phones. Oh man. Okay, so we're going to go up this way, I think, this time. Have to get around past this sawmill, make our way up here. We get to the abandoned truck, and then there's an abandoned truck up there too. We'll have to have a look at that. That'll be another task to get. I think it's every male's way of getting peace, isn't it? Yeah. It's kind of sucked in this house that I'm in because it's only got one toilet. So it's always, oh, how much long are you going to be? I need to go to the toilet. Sorry. This turd's being a bit stubborn. Going to be at least another half an hour yet. Nothing worse when you've got only one toilet. My recommendation, if you get a place and you want to keep your marriage, make sure the place has 2 toilets. I think that's why my last marriage failed, because we only had one toilet. We shared the one toilet. And it's, as you say, it's always when you freaking get in there. But yeah, you're best off getting a house with 2 toilets, man. Did you hear about this English guy went and visited some friends in Japan, and you know, he was amazed when he went to the toilet. The freaking thing had everything, almost like an internet. It had all these fucking buttons. It had seat warmers, seat coolers. It had all these different buttons, but he didn't know what all of them bloody did because, well, you know, the buttons are all in bloody Japanese, so he does his thing and presses this button, and this nice bit of warm water sprayed on his butt, and he goes, oh, that felt good, that cleaned my butt, that's really good. So, you know, he thought, yeah, okay, I'll prepare the stuff. And then it blew this nice warm air. And he thought, oh, that's good. Then he saw his other button was on the other side, but had a kind of a pinkish colour. And he thought, nah, let's press that one. So he pressed that one, and man, he passed out. And he wakes up and he's in bloody hospital. And he was lucky he had an English-speaking doctor there. And the English-speaking doctor said to him, mate, just want to recap what happened. So you went to the toilet, you pressed the blue button. He goes, yeah, mate, and it blew this, sprayed this really nice wind. Then he said, then you press this button, and it blew nice warm air. He goes, yeah. And he goes, let me get, and then you went and saw the pink button on the other side, so you pressed that one as well. He goes, yeah, that's when I passed out. He goes, yeah, well, mate, you should have pressed that button. He goes, why? Because that button's the automatic tampon remover. Nah? So if you're sitting on a toilet, don't press all the buttons, okay? There you go, there's my joke for the night. It is a joke, it's not weird. Mind you, their toilets, I have been to Japan, their toilets do have a whole lot of shit on them. And they did tell me best not to press that one. That one's more for girls than boys. Holy shit. Let's not fall down here. Someone called Phil's has gone live. Okay, guys, go and subscribe to Phil. He's gone live. We'll have to do our game on here again sometime, Phil. Let's not fall off this cliff. What's he streaming, Andy? Please don't tell me he's playing that Star Trek game again. Way too much reading in that game. Okay. We'll go to the left or go to the right? I can't remember. Well, look at those rocks. I think I'll go to the right. We've got nice big mud tires, we should be fine if it's muddy this way. Well, the Bellix just walked into the chat game. What the hell did I just walk into? Yeah, mate, my only advice is, Lebelic, if you ever go to Japan, do not press the pink button, okay? Do not, I repeat, do not press the pink button on the toilet. True story, that did happen when I went to Japan. The first time I went to Japan, I think it was about 2 or 3 nights in. Had some dinner and had some kind of potato. It's not your normal type of potato. But anyway, the potato didn't exactly agree with me very well, and I proceeded to that night become extremely ill. It was basically got to the point where nothing else was coming out, okay? I was really quite ill and almost passed out, but really ill. To the point that they had to call an ambulance. Now in Japan, got a lot of little small side streets where the houses are. This is in a place called Nara City. And so the ambulance turns up, these 2 guys walk in, they see with a carry stretcher. Now they're quite small guys, and mind you, of course, another thing about Japan is watch the doorway. I kept on hitting my bloody head in the doorways. I remember this is a shortcut. Take the shortcut in. But anyway, yeah. So they come in, they see this big freaking huge Aussie lying on the floor, and they had one look at their bloody stretcher, one look at me, and then they had to ring up and get a second ambulance to come along. So the 4 of them could carry me out to the ambulance. I tell you what, it's a bit scary being taken off to a Japanese hospital because basically no one there spoke English. So my ex-wife, who was Japanese, had to do all the translating for us. But the look on these bloody hospital guys' faces when they saw me, they thought, holy shit, we can't carry this guy. Then you get taken off to hospital and everyone's just trying to talk to you, but no one speaks English. It was a bit scary too at the same time. Turned out to be food poisoning from the potato. It was quite bad food poisoning. I've had food poisoning in the past. I think everybody's had food poisoning. But this was probably the worst I've ever had. But that's of course, because we went to Japan twice. So the first time we went to Japan, no, I went to Japan twice actually. But I think it was the first time, might have been the second time. That's where we went for the drive. And I drove. Luckily I had my ex to do all the translation of all the bloody signs, because all the signs were in Japanese. And the navigation units were all in Japanese. So I went for a drive in her dad's car. Now, he didn't let anyone drive his car, but he let me drive it. Like, but anyway, we went for a nice big long drive out to Suzuka. That was the first time we went there. We went there twice. Because I thought you could go there, they've got the theme park. So we went to there, we went around the theme, got to the theme park, and I went on the Ferris wheel that I keep reminding you guys all about. Then we get on this roller coaster ride, and I don't really like roller coaster rides, to be honest. And so as long as it's slow, it's okay. So yeah, it's okay. It's quite slow. We get on, and now this is before the big one was made in Ferrari over in Dubai. This is probably over 20 years ago, and it was like 22 years ago. We're on, and she goes, "Oh, well, what? Just before we're about to go, we're already strapped in." She goes, "They've just announced at the moment this is the world's fastest roller coaster ride." And I'm like, "Holy shit!" Too late. Had to hold on. Let's just say Japanese potatoes aren't your normal Japanese potato. And quite a lot of Japanese foods, they actually inject ingredients into them. Apples, for instance. I like putting bloody sugar into apples. I kid you not. So let's go and we might cut across this way. Get to here, find out what this abandoned truck is all about. So yeah, we got there, we went around, and they have a go-kart track there. So I went out on the go-kart track and kicked ass, I tell you. Absolutely kicked ass out of all those other little shits. And they've got these kind of drag cars too, real, like almost real drag cars. They have proper motors in them and stuff like that. They're on some special line and stuff like that, and they obviously got safety nets, but you controlled it to a certain point. Anyway, it was there that I found out that you could drive around. We went and looked at the go-kart, we looked at the track. Just check out this. I just want to have a look at the Suzuka track, and that's where she goes, "Oh, look at that!" And there were go-karts driving around the track. So we inquired about it, and I said, "Yeah, you can hire a go-kart." So we got a two-seater go-kart. So my ex sat next to me, so unfortunately she kind of slowed me down a bit. Quite fast. Where are we supposed to take that? So we went out, walked across the start-finish line, because I get you to walk across the start-finish line, over into the pits, and then that's where we jumped in the go-kart and drove around the first half of Suzuka. It was like, oh man, fuck yeah, hell yeah, man, this is like, I'm driving Suzuka, man, I'm driving Suzuka. On the Suzuka track. This is going for the first corner again. That's where Senna and Prost crashed, and then driving along for all those S-bends. Of course, we should believe in the go-karts were not really that fast, but the bit actually on the Suzuka F1 track. I even put my hand down on the ground and said, I touched it with my very hand. Like a dream come true to do that. Then we'll Japanese is very Americanized in other ways. And then after that, the second time we went there, I was like, can we go back to, I decided let's go back to Suzuka again. To try to drive the track again. And we went back there. And she said, oh sorry, the go-karting is off today. And I go, oh, why is it off? They go, oh, because they've got a ride day. Now the pricing for the rides were not that expensive. So we got into a Honda Integra 3-seater. So what they did, you had me driving the front seat, and my ex-wife was in the back in the middle. They kind of put them in the middle in the back. And I had the handy cam, so I've got footage, or I had footage, of driving around the Suzuka F1 track. The first lap was nice and slow, and I said, oh no. And she said, it's okay, they don't go very fast, it's all good, so you can hold on to the helmet. And then, so we get out the track, go around, and it's going quite slow for the first lap, all good. And then she goes, oh shit, you know what? He just told me that they're going to go flat out for the second lap. And he went flat out for the second lap. He was, it was fast. It was really fast. And that was the full F1 track too. So it was just like 2 laps around Suzuka. That felt like a dream come true. It would have been even better if I could drive. You can't get anything. I have been in a faster car. I have driven a faster car. I've been a passenger around Willowbank Raceway in a V8 supercar Nissan. That was an amazing experience, I tell you. Just 2 laps, and man, anyone who thinks you can just jump in one of those things and drive them straight away are kidding themselves. The acceleration was amazing. The cornering speeds was amazing. What can't ready you for is the braking. You're like driving up and you're going, holy shit! Slow down! The braking, you can never get prepared for, believe me. It was amazing. And I also got to see how much they'd changed. So I don't really say too much about it. I worked with a V8 supercar team based here in Queensland, probably close to 30 years ago now. We ran an EL Falcon. It was an ex-Gled seat. You probably haven't heard his names, but it was a V8 supercar. Now we had hired Lakeside Raceway for test day. No, it wasn't a Code Brown moment at all. No, Code Brown moment was the bloody chicane tonight. Which, by the way, that race in the Suzuki has been uploaded, and it should go live in about an hour. But anyway, so I was a kind of a data logger, helped out with the supercar team. So I've actually got proper racing experience, not really as a driver, as much as I would love to. But anyway, which way is the best way to get down? I think we can go down this way. But anyway, so yeah, we hired the track that day. Now we had a guy called Wayne Park, who was famous for crashing a Ferrari in Bathurst, and it burst into flames. And these were the early days of the GT3 type racing. Anyway, he also used to race a Ford Sierra for Glen Seton, Group A. So the same as probably the Texaco Fords you would have had in England, stuff like that. We had them in the V8 Group A days here in Australia. So he was our test driver, but he couldn't make it that day. apparently came down sick that morning. The driver who owned this car, he had money, he had no talent, believe me. And they spent all this money to hire the track. We had the car there ready, we had the bed in, the gearbox and the engine and all that other stuff. Now, they knew that I had aspirations to be a driver. I was quite young, I was about 20, 21. I did actually have... No, careful. Careful. Let's think about this. I did have my racing license, just not the money to actually do it. But they knew that, so they said, "Hey Ian, you know the car. This is going to be a bit risky coming down here. This is it. You know the car. We're going to let you take it around Lakeside Raceway." So I drove a V8 Civicar, one of the early day ones, around Lakeside Raceway. So I went out there, and man, it was scary as hell because I've never driven something that powerful before, ever. Wait a second, let's refill ourselves. So yeah, I've driven a V8. Don't let go of the truck, that's the whole point. I drove it around Lakeside Way, so now at first I had to take it very slowly because they were bedding in a gearbox and all that other shit. And I went out and did quite a few laps. It was like 10 laps, come in, make sure everything was okay, go back out, do another 10 laps. Each time they said, "Okay, we need you to pick up the speed." So I was picking it up, and they go, "Well, he goes, mate, you really actually got a pretty good handle." And then this is before sequential gearboxes. You had to double the clutch. It was a proper 6-speed H-pattern gearbox, and you had to be able to drive. I'll tell you one thing, you've got it easy nowadays compared to back then. So I took it around, and they said, "Okay, mate, you're really good. So look, pick up your speed. Don't crash. Don't overdrive it. But go out and now, of course, remember I've data logger, so I got to see the difference between Wayne Park and the driver. Now, to show you how bad this driver owned the car, Wayne Park was, just say for instance, he did a 52. This other guy was 2.5 seconds per lap slower, and it was about a 1 minute 10, I think it is, lap. So 1 minute 10, somewhere around that. It's a long time ago. And the driver was 1 minute 12.5. He had money but no time. I went out and I did a 1:10.5. I was only half a second slower than Wayne Park. First time I've ever driven the thing. Never driven a V8 before. Never driven anything around that speed. And 2 seconds faster than the actual driver. So they let me do a couple more laps and stuff like that, so that's really good. We got over there, okay, pack up for lunch, and then the main driver turned up. He turned up to do his run in the afternoon. And of course, my name in the team was called Chris. My name's actually Ian, but the team manager's name was Ian as well. So not to confuse things, they used me by my middle name, which is Christopher, or Chris for short. And yeah, let's say, so the driver turns up, owner driver. He said, "Hey mate, Ian beat your time by over 2 seconds, just off Wayne Park's time." So he came straight to me and we went into the truck and looked at the time differences. and you can see it, but the biggest difference is this fast left kink lakeside. The first corner was just a left kink. Me and Wayne went through that fat chat. He would back off. He lost about over a second just in that one corner. I didn't. I backed it. I knew that you could do it for pelt. So yeah, let's repair this truck behind me now. Anyway, so guess what happened after that? I was banned from ever driving a supercar again. He couldn't have his data logger faster than him. So I was never allowed to drive the car again after that. My only stayed there for a year and left the team because they promised to take me to races and stuff. The only race we went to was Lakeside, the round at Lakeside Raceway later that year, and that was an amazing weekend. I got to talk with Barry Sheen for a couple of hours, just me and him. We helped a young and upcoming racer sponsored by Yellow Pages while he was racing there at the latest round of the Formula Ford Championship. And this, oh god, I'm damaging that thing already. So anyway, we're helping this guy, and I sit down with him and I say, "What's your aspiration? Where do you want to go?" Because I was helping out in the car, talking about data log and stuff like that. I was quite interested in doing data log. Anyway, he said to me his ambition was to get to Formula 1 and race for Williams, the Williams Formula 1 team. Now you guys may have heard of this guy's name, Mark Webber. Good old Mark Webber. And that's who I sat down with. Need to come along here, make our way along here. And the way that he was done, that's where he wanted. He was so determined. He was driven. He knew where he wanted to go. And of course, we all remember, he did actually get to race for Williams. You should have heard of him, Rebellic. He used to race for. We started off Minardi. He got famous because he got points in his first ever race at the Melbourne Grand Prix in Minardi. And then he ended up at Williams, famous for being a teammate with Ralph Schumacher, and the first year he was at Williams was when Williams had the ugliest nose, the warest nose. Then he ended up at Jaguar, which then became Red Bull Racing. So Mark Webber was Sebastian Vettel's teammate, and at one point was looking like he would actually be the first world champion for Red Bull, but he threw away that championship when he stuffed up at the Korean F1 race, and Vettel then overtook him in the championship and won Red Bull's first ever F1 championship. But it should have been Mark Webber who won that first championship, in my eyes anyway. And that's actually, it's around that time that I hated Vettel, because Vettel first, him and I think it was Turkey, Vettel and Mark Webber came together, and the way Vettel acted after the incident and did the kind of loony sign, us Aussies hated him then, the way that he carried on. And he was a brat back then. I did not like Vettel back. I like him now. I like the Vettel that he became nowadays. let's chuck some fuel on that thing. Let's not unwinch it though. But yeah, that's where Mark Webber came from. The fact that I sat down with him, and he was so determined, he said, I'm going to race at Williams, and then when he ended up there, I was a huge fan of Mark Webber because I bet him, and I just remember sitting down with him that time, and him telling me that's where he wanted to be. Look where he is now, it's just incredible. So I had my chances, okay, you can kind of say, get involved in motorsport. I've never really managed to really pursue it properly, especially as a driver. I was told by Peter Brock himself that I had a driving talent and should take it up, but I just didn't have the money to do so. And my father was one that believed in getting a normal job, taking on racing as a career. Me and Dad didn't get on very well back then. We still don't really get on too well. But he has since said to me that he wished he had listened to me and had given me that chance. Because it's one thing racing sims and stuff like that, but racing sims aren't the same as driving the real thing. You put me in a real go-kart, I'll run rings around just about anybody else on the track. And I'm talking about proper racing go-karts, none of those bloody 4-stroke hire karts that everyone goes in, which I also kick ass on. But yeah, I used to be an absolute demon. No one taught me to drive. I just got in the car and drove. My mum had a Mazda 323 Estina. That was the first of the model Estinas. I don't know what they called them over your way, but it was a Mazda 323 with pop-up lights, and it was a really cool car to drive. I loved that car. Manual gearbox, but no one ever taught me to drive, ever. I got in the car and drove. My father couldn't believe that, so he actually made me go and do get a driver instructor. And the driver instructor went for driving. He goes, "There's nothing I can teach you how to drive. You know everything." Then he wanted to try and catch me out to try to do some reverse parks. Spot on. I literally just jumped in the car and drove. No one taught me how to drive. I learned things very quickly by just watching. So I think, because I loved cars, I would always watch how people drive, how my parents drove, how my mum drove, and how, in her case, how not to drive. Exactly the best drives. But yeah, no one ever taught me how to drive. I can learn things just by watching. My ex-partner, that you all know, I've told you about how he broke up with me 2 days after my birthday by ghosting me. But she was into clay shooting. She'd been doing it for years, having these lessons and shit. I had one lesson. Now, when you're clay shooting, it's out of 25 targets. I had a couple of lessons. I had one kind of fun lesson for this guy, then I had a second lesson which was okay. And then I had a proper lesson. So I said, okay, let's see what you can do. I'm going to keep an eye on your score. And let's do a proper shoot. So, and he goes, don't be surprised that you'll probably maybe get 5 targets. First time ever, I got 20 out of 25. And this guy's a professional gun teacher. He goes, in the whole of his years, he has never Now, oh, do you remember this bit? Don't go for the mud there, just go to the left here. Don't worry about the garden. There's a rock there. But yeah, so much easier going this way than along the mud. Well, I literally shot at 25, clay shooting. And I learned all that by just watching him when he was teaching her and her son how to shoot. I just watched. No one. I learned things extremely quick by just watching. And technically, listen, and I'm no bullshit, Andy. So say what you want. I'm actually classed as a genius. My IQ was tested of 177. So I think it was 187. So Einstein was 177. I tested I got my IQ test and it was 187. I've never been able to use that intelligence, but apparently my IQ is 187. Why I'm not some rich bloody nerd, I do not know. I think it's because I lived a whole lot of... My childhood was a lot of trauma. Trauma. Yeah, I lived a pretty fucked up mild childhood, so I just never had the ability, but I just pick up things instantly. Drove the car instantly. I picked up shooting by just watching him giving lessons to them. There's one thing, and as he said, that you can tell them, but it's how to hold the gun, how to point it. You have to have the right eye and stuff like that. He wants me to take up lessons and take up shooting. It's just so expensive. Really nice guy, so I might give it a go again one day. Mind you, I need to message him Happy New Year. Actually, I haven't spoken to him in a while. There's going to be bits of deep water here. Might damage the poor truck again. Turn the engine off. That saves the engine. That's a good idea. Should have turned it off before I went in. I think I can. Fuck, it's 12:30. I think we're going to have to call the stream and I'll have to finish off this one in the morning. Well, technically it's already morning. Hi guys, for Monday. Let's get through this point. I don't want to stop in a muddy area. So I'm either proof that the whole IQ stuff's bullshit, or just I never got to, and I'm going to believe the second one. I just never got to utilise my intelligence. Same with my driving talent in real life. People say that me as a limousine driver, they said they don't have anyone like me. Because when I drive a limousine, I don't just drive it like I'm driving a normal car. You have to drive it a bit more sedately, knowing how to brake carefully. Well, those little things, but it makes such a difference. I'm going to turn that engine off again. You can make it, buddy. It's one thing you remember about this map is mud. Mud, glorious mud. It's bloody everywhere. I want to get to a dry point before I stop, because we might get back to find out. Come on, game, I want to go to bed. I'm starting to be delirious. I know I'm hilarious. Yes, I am. Shut up, Andy. Okay, how far? Oh, maybe we might actually go finish it off, because look, it's just there. Okay, some bonus Ian. Not far now, I thought it'd be further than that. Bonus Ian. No, Labellex always likes it when you get a bonus me. Didn't realise we were that close. It's a slow bloody slog though, I can tell you. What's that there? House, okay. How much longer? Mind, I'm saying that doesn't look very far away, but the speed we're going at. Oh, there's an upgrade there. We have to go for the trees here. Oh, get out the fucking way, trees. I did it to this point, not to there. Hey! Let's go back and get that upgrade first. See, it was worth waiting that little bit longer, wasn't it? Need to get that upgrade. Come on. There it is. Get out of the fucking way, trees. Oh yeah. Let's get up here. You guys don't mind a little bit more me anyway. Especially La Bella. It's 12:39 AM. Hi from the future, guys. Anyway, I think I'll leave it here. There's one thing I do want to check though. Let's go back to the garage. I got some active suspension. I'm wondering if hopefully it works on this. Please. No, damn, it wasn't that one. I wanted that one. One thing we need to do is put some better tyres on that. Yes, now. Anyway, guys, time for bed. Don't forget to nip into Phil's stream and say hi. Can you post that link on Discord? Because I can't follow that on the iPad, I don't think. Oh, I think it did. What the hell is he playing? Space mechanic thing? Something like that. Anyway, guys, stay safe. Bye for now. See you on the next one.